Well, it's our playoff preview podcast, and joining me right now, it's Scott Linesburgh of The Record. Scott, how are you doing so far?
I'm doing well. A couple of days away. Teams are getting ready. You know, playoff time, you can feel a little tense in the air. It's always a little different.
And it's kind of fun, too, not just because of the playoffs, but because of all that's going around in Stockton right now. I mean, this weekend is probably one of the busiest weekends we have. We have the Heat that are going to be playing in San Jose to start the playoffs, and you have the Ports that are going to be home and the Asparagus Festival. So it's one of those great times to be here in Stockton. This team started off hot, then in the middle of the season, they kind of fell off. But since February 22nd, this team has really been on a tear, and it's largely the same team that started out so hot.
Yeah, it's if you remember the beginning of the season, they were very young. And the thing was, would they this team was exactly the opposite, I think, of a lot of people thought they would be. It was they may take their lumps early, but they have some nice young players. Maybe they get going as the season goes on. But they started out gangbusters. They were in first place, not in a division, but I believe at one point the whole conference they had the best record. Yep. And then they just dumped. They just went down, and all of a sudden they're in seventh place, and you're wondering, well, I'll have time to go to the Asparagus Festival this year because they were in seventh place and they just look like they didn't have a pulse. And then, boom, in February, they pop back up. Yes, it is. And I believe, it's an interesting situation. You have two young, good goalies, and this is a developmental situation. I think, and part of it is the way the situation has gone with the with John having to go up and stuff. But I think Rittich has earned the job. No matter who else is here, I'll say that straight. I think you have to give him his shot to see if he can carry this team. And I just like him in the playoffs because he's just that tough guy. And there's going to be San Jose is a great team, the best team in the conference, and just slightly. I think if they would have won one more game, they would have had the best percentage in the entire league.
Yeah,
so
they were
close.
Yep.
Yeah, they were very close. So this is a very good team. And so there's going to be some rough moments. There's going to be some times when you're going to be under siege. And not that Gillies isn't very good. He is.
Yeah.
But I just think in the playoffs, one man's opinion, you got to pick a guy. This team was two different teams. You pick the month, and it's a different team. November's different. Just late December and January is really different. March really different from January, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, when were those? You got to break it down more than that, in my opinion.
Let's take a look at that, Scott, because when you do bring up that point from basically December all the way through February, the bulk of the matchups did happen for the Stockton Heat in that span where the Stockton Heat were going through kind of a downturn. And when you look at it, Stockton plays them once in October. They play them 3 times in December, twice in January, once in February. Then they play them 3 times in March, twice in April. And coincidentally, when you go through that March and April, Stockton goes 3-1-1 in that span.
Yeah. What I like about, I don't know if I'm leaving the subject a little bit. I like about this series is, to me, this is a great butt series. In the sense that you have one team that is the number one seed, won all those games, won all those awards, which they earned. I might have given Mark Jankowski from Stockton the Rookie of the Year over O'Regan, but it was that close and no real complaint because Danny O'Regan is a great player. And they have every advantage. And what I mean by the but is it's like they have a great record. But Stockton has that streak of 11 points in the last, 11 straight games with points. Nobody finished the season hotter than they did when it came to earning points. So hot against the best record in the league. And then it's like, they have, again, a great record, but Stockton is 5-5-2 against them.
Yeah.
That's a number that struck out to me, considering the year they had. They were dead even. Now, if you go from if you look, as you said, you go from the San Jose side of the record, it's 7-5.
Yeah.
But that's still because they won 2 overtime games, which I'll let you get into. Overtime a lot different in the regular season when it's basically let's get it over, and in the regular season where you play the game. You play 5-on-5 and you play full periods until somebody wins. So that 5-5-2 is a huge but number. You know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
it's like, but they have played them evenly. So yeah, you have to favor San Jose by the numbers, but I don't think anyone's fooled that this is going to be easy. I mean, they, especially late in the season, they gave them a lot of trouble.
Oh, yeah.